Huh. Okay, so I guess they're gonna go me. Pushing the one shot. I got him. Oh, man. Hey, what's up? So, if you're looking to find out what I've been playing right now and figure out probably one of the most busted demonology things I've personally ever seen in the history of this game in PvP, then stay tuned. I'll share my secrets, I'll share what I've found and what I've discovered that nobody else is talking about right now. So, stay tuned and watch the entire thing. Otherwise, you'll miss out. So, recently, I've been testing out a lot of comp ideas for Demonology Warlock in 9.1 because it is a very tough meta. I was playing Necrolord with Shard of Annihilation, obviously, the heavily hyped up legendary, but ever the contrarian I must be, and I had to find something else. I had to look elsewhere for another build, the next big thing, because you know me, I'm always up to date with all the latest trends. I do have a absolutely mind-blowing build that we all foresaw happening possibly in the PTR of 9.1. I mean, I knew this was going to be a thing, but I was so excited to play the Shard of Annihilation with Demon Bull and Saxels that I kind of overlooked it. And it's essentially demonic consumption with Night Fae, with the addition now of Fel Obelisk. The only real difference from 9.1 is the Fel Obelisk now, and I guess the Fel Lord, which I am actually integrating the Fel Lord as well into this current build. But yeah, so let's go ahead and get right into it now. So I've been running, as far as composition, I've been running BM Hunter Demonology. Okay, I'll just come right out and say it right in the beginning. That is the composition I've found to work the best for Demonology right now. Why is that? So Beast Mastery has a honor talent called the Beast, Eye of the Beast Within, something like that. But it increases the attack speed of all nearby pets, melee pets only. It says attack speed of all pets, I think, but it's actually only your melee pets. But it's all pets, including the team. So essentially, long story short, all of my melee pets, so Dreadstalkers, my primary pet, Felguard, right? Grimoire Felguard, Fel Lord, all of the melee pets are having their attack speed amped by, it says 10% on the tooltip of the ability, but it's actually when you hover over under buffs, under your pets, it actually says 15%. So I don't know if that's a hidden bug or something, but it amps their attack speed by 15% and makes them immune to fear and horrify effects, I think. So it's a nice little bonus, and it's whenever he bestial wraths, which is all the fucking time, and it's for 8 seconds. So that's one of the bonuses I've liked about running with Hunter, as well as just the, you know, always up fucking Trap. I mean, Trap is one of the best CCs in the game. It's so incredibly good. It doesn't DR with fear, so we'll full fear somebody, he'll trinket it, and then he just gets full trapped, or like whatever. And so it's incredibly strong. Their passive damage, Beast Mastery, is absolutely insane right now. They're cranked. Also, with him having the Mortal Wounds effect on his pet, he's improving our Mortal Strike on the target, because my Mortal Strike is only 10%. So our Mortal Strike is scuffed, kind of. I'll show screen for this. I thought I was showing screen. So our Mortal Strike in PvP is only 10%. It says 20% right there. It's actually only 10%, but the Hunters is 25%. So their effect is stronger, and that's what's being applied to the target. I'm pretty sure Legion Strike does not stack with other Mortal Strike effects. So if anything, the stronger effect is just replacing the Legion Strike effect. So that's a bonus too, right? Running with a partner that has a strong Mortal Strike. They also have Bloodlust, Scuffed Bloodlust, that they can pop in Arena. Primal Rage, I think, and that's 12% haste. And the point of that is one of the most crucial parts to this build, is the haste, because what I'm doing is I'm having him pop his haste. So I'll show you the rough opener. So let's say I've like ramped up a little bit, right? You have to get to 5 shards. So I'll just assume right now that I'm being trained by 2 melee. I'm not going to be able to cast a whole bunch of Hand of Gul'dans and do my whole fancy thing, right? So BM Trinket, Dreadstalkers, Grimoire, Fel Lord, Tyrant, right? Soul Rot, Fel Obelisk, and then the Fel Lord grants a lot more absorption for the Tyrant. So I'm hitting for like 12.5k. The Fel Lord, you'd be surprised. Obviously, I'm not going to set it out like that. The Fel Lord, I usually drop it on myself because almost every team right now has a melee on it. So you'd be surprised how cocky these melee are. And with all the haste effects, namely, Fel Obelisk, the haste you get from the Hunter, the attack speed bonus from Beast Within, Honor Talent, and then also this Soul Rot ability with the specific Soul Bind I play with, I get haste from this as well. So I'm basically stacking my haste so high that my Tyrant is shooting bolts like a fucking machine gun, and all of my pets are proccing like... Because Demo pets scale a shitload off of haste, obviously. Imps can spend their energy infinitely during Tyrant, so haste helps them to get more value during the window when they're empowered. You have Dreadstalkers scaling haste-wise off of the number of attacks that they do, which in turn procs more of your Soulbind or your Potency Conduit Carnivorous Stalkers here, because that's based on the number of attacks. Haste gives you more attacks, right? So, you're seeing dog procs happen all the time. Since I'm not Necrolord, I am not playing the Shard Legendary. I'm actually playing the dog Legendary because I'm just banking on the dogs doing a lot of damage with their procs. And it's doing really well. I'm doing really well, and I don't even have the enhanced slot for Carnivorous Stalkers yet, or the 252 or 259 conduit item levels either. So it's only going to get better. It's only going to scale better. That is roughly the opener. That is roughly the damage. And I'm one-shotting people personally with BM Hunters, with a solid BM Hunter. And then it can work with really any healer. I wanted to do Priest because I'm greedy and I wanted like Dark Archangel and Power Infusion with it. But most of the time, when we were playing with Priest, we were just dying and like they couldn't keep us alive because Priests really aren't that good right now, it feels like. So I'd rather just play with like a Druid or an R Shaman. The Druid is what we did the best with. I didn't really have a chance to play with an R Shaman. So yeah, my ideal comp for right now is, I guess, Druid, Healer, and then BM Hunter. And that is why. Anything else I missed? Trying to think. So one of the reasons, because you would be thinking, oh, well, you're just stacking your haste up really high, like whatever, right? Like you would be thinking like, oh, well, there's got to be a breaking point to the stat. One thing I noticed is I don't know if this is because I'm human or what this is, but there's a discrepancy between, let's say I gain 10 haste and then I drop Fel Obelisk, right? Well, together that should be, what's Fel Obelisk? 20%? That should be 30% together, right? So I'll show screen for this one last thing. So I'm at 27% haste, right? And then Soul Rot, my Soul Rot with this specific conduit, or this specific, Soulbind, when I drop Soul Rot, it gives me 15% haste, right? So that's 15% haste plus Fel Obelisk, which is 20. I think it's 20, right? Fuck, is it 20? I'm pretty sure it's like 20 or 25. We can drop it ahead of time. We can drop it right now to see. So it was 20. Yeah, it's like 25. Yeah. All right, so Fel Obelisk is 25% haste. So now we have to wait. Well, I guess we can drop these at the same time. So together it gives you 75-30, right? 75-30. So together it's 25% plus 10%. It should only be 35%, right? Well, if it only added 35% haste, that would only be 62% mathematically, right? Just by simple addition. Why was it as high as 75%? And that's the question you got to ask yourself. I'm pretty fucking sure, like I haven't tested this, but I've just through logic and deduction, I've made the hypothesis that Fel Obelisk is actually not scaling like in a linear, it's not scaling like, what's the word, like in a static way. So it's got to be scaling up other effects too. Like it's not, because what it reads as is increases attack speed and reduces cast time of spells by 20%, but it actually it's an actual haste value. I don't know what's happening with this, but it's not scaling like it should. It's actually scaling like higher, it seems like. So yeah, and I'll show that to you again. Soul Rot with Fel Obelisk it's actually 75% haste. So it's getting essentially, should be 35%. It's getting an additional 10% from seemingly nowhere worth of haste. And that's not all. So when after you have those haste buffs, when you throw on the hunter haste buff as well, it should be another 12%. But what ends up happening is you end up getting like 20 more percent from it. Because I'll get up to like 90, I think it's 92% haste where I was sitting, or 95%, which is well over like 20% more. So the more haste affects your stacking, the more you're getting bonus. So I don't know what it is, guys, but that is how I'm like able to just one-shot people right now. I tried it out, and from there, we totally shredded people. But yeah, I'll show a couple games, kind of detailing what I'm talking about. But I was able to do extremely well with this build. I am planning to move forward with this build as opposed to Shard of Annihilation, because like if I find something out and everyone else starts playing it, it's not as fun for me. It doesn't feel as special. So I like to try to innovate something new, or like I like to solve for problems. You know, I like to like innovate and try to find new ideas for things, and that's fun for me. So with Demo getting super like OP and shit with that one build, I had to figure out some other way to push or move forward. And it also just wasn't really working out for me. I was in higher CRs and higher tiers. You just get the buff purged, or you're getting controlled, or it's just not, it's not as good. So I like this build a lot. It feels very demonology to me. Just summoning the Fel Lord. I like to actually be able to utilize the Fel Lord. With all the extra haste, he really doesn't even have a cast bar. So he's just sitting there, just swinging and cleaving people and knocking them down. And there's like, before, one of the problems with him was people could get out of his zone. So I'll drop him like, so see that cast bar? I'll extend him. So the cast bar is like, it's not very long, okay? So now I'll add my haste effects onto it, and then now watch, right? It's all down. It's way quicker. Way quicker. So it's too fast for a lot of these people to be able to move out of. So they're getting cleaved to death. My melee pets are doing a lot of damage. And yeah, so I'm fairly confident I have discovered like one of the most overpowered things probably in this game. I've witnessed it myself personally, one-shotting kids, one-shotting melee, one-shotting warriors, just deleting people in a global, because they're taking so much burst damage all at the same time. You do need the hunter for this, I think. I've tried with other classes and other things. It's not as good as if you run this with a hunter. But yeah, guys, I just pretty much chanced upon this. So Demonology is busted. Decon and like Night Fae is actually viable somewhat. And yeah, so that is what I'm currently playing. And that is what I discovered with Night Fae Demonology in 9.1. So I appreciate you watching. If you liked it or got something out of the video, I'd appreciate a like and a subscribe. I like to keep people up to date with things I find or things I'm playing or what I'm doing. And so you could stay subscribed for that, and you'll get notified whenever I post. So appreciate it, and take care.